Hey guys, this is Max Convexity. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Let's talk about these Defiance funds for a little bit. It's about midnight here in the Central Time Zone, and I'm looking at the stock index futures. The top three on the right-hand side are stock index futures. So they trade 23 hours a day. That's the NASDAQ. I just look at the percent change. It's up a tenth of a percent. ES is the S&P. It's up less than a tenth of a percent, and Russell's up a little bit more than a tenth of a percent. Anyway, so it's pretty quiet in overnight action. Sometimes at night it's really interesting and it's moving all over the place, and you can get an idea of where you're going to open the next morning. But right now it looks pretty flat. We shall see, though. You might hear my little dog in the background. He's gnawing on a bully stick, and if you can hear him, I apologize, but he's sitting up here next to me and just going to town on this bully stick. All right, well, let's talk about the Defiance funds, and let's talk about their strategies for tomorrow with their options. Let's start with the QQQYs. All right, so we sold, for tomorrow's expiration, we sold 155 NDX puts at the 16,830 level. God, it's not going to be too long before we get to 17,000. So we sold 155 at 16,830. We got a little bit more than $48. So that right there is our break even. And that's our max profit. 16,830 is the max profit. The short strike, whenever you sell options, the short strike is always where your max profit is. Even if you have a spread where you have one option long and one option short, you're doing a credit spread, you want to go to the short strike and stop. That's your max profit. That's just a little option trick. You're always aiming for wherever the short strike is. You want to go there and try not to go beyond it. It's kind of like the Price is Right. When you spin that big wheel, you want to get as close to $1 as you can without going over. All right, so these guys are going for $752,000 tomorrow. Something I noticed is look how little money that is compared to yesterday. I was thinking, I wonder if they're dialing it back and trying to get conservative with the end of the month coming up. They don't want to give away a bunch of profits, but I don't think that's it. But then I thought maybe I made a mistake, and so I checked my numbers. But, you know, that's the least they've gone for in a long time. Over here on the left side, you can see how much they've gone for. So I guess this was last Friday, but that was a 2-day trade, and they broke it in half. That was kind of a different situation, is why that one was less. But up here on December 6th, there was one that was less. So I guess it's not unheard of, but it's only a 0.30 capture, which is still pretty good. So, all right, let's look at the old chart there. All right. You can also tell, I think the volatility is just getting pretty thin up here at these high levels, because look how small that profit box is. I mean, there's nothing to that profit box. All right, let's jump over here to the JEPY. The JEPY trades SPX options to pay everybody a yield. They sold 217 puts at the 47.70 level. They sold it for $9.50, so the break even is $9.50 less 47.70, so that comes to 47.60 and change. It's actually $9.52, but all right. So short strike is your max profit, so that's 47.70. These guys are also not going for very much compared to how much they usually go for, just 206,000. You know, that's the least they've gone to since December 1st. They've gone for since December 1st. Now he's getting a drink of water. That bully stick made him thirsty. Good boy, Jackson. All right, so we'll see how they do. It'd be a 0.21 capture if they get it. I think this one was ridiculously small. Yeah, I cannot believe how tiny these boxes are getting. I'm having to blow it up just so to see it. I mean, they barely sold that in the money at all. I mean, it's in the money just barely. Anyway, that's what happens is the volatility, generally volatility decreases as the prices go up. That hasn't been the case in IWMY this month. It seems like the volatility and the price have been going up at the same time, but that won't last forever. It just lasts for temporary time periods, but it is darn sure working out for IWMY right now. So look at these guys. They're averaging at more than 0.5% daily capture. You just, the math on that comes to 126. That doesn't mean they're going to pay 126 yield or dividend this month, but I bet it's somewhere in that range. When we get the day or two before, I'll try to make a close guess. I'll check all these numbers and try to give you guys a good guess, but I'd say it's going to be in that range. I mean, anything can happen. We still have a few days left in the month, so. So what did these guys do? These guys sold 255 puts at the 2030 level. And they sold them for $12.30. So $12.30 less 2030 is your break even. So 2017.70 would be the break even. And of course 2030, which is where the short strike is located, is the max profit. All right, so here we go on, these guys are also going for less, 300,000. You know, that's one of the smallest ones they've gone for. It's still a massive 0.63% capture, but it's a small amount for these guys. Let's check out the chart. This one isn't too small. It's not as big as this one yesterday, but this one has a pretty good area for them to shoot for. Check this out. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, or not. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, or I'm trying to hit 1,000. Obviously, I'm trying to get 100 subscribers today. I had 812 according to this yesterday, so there's a few more minutes left. I got 14 minutes to get four more subscribers. So we'll see if I make it. I got a couple of nice shout outs today or this week. I've got 3 of them. A couple of guys I really respect. Mike, the tactical stock scalper, gave me a shout out. And also Retire on Dividends gave me a shout out. And then also Ethan Gallstead, I think is his name, gave me a shout out just now. So that's great. Those guys are great. Those guys are great, and I really appreciate it. All right. I'll be back in the morning, and or I'll be back at noon. How about that? I'll be back at noon, and we'll see how we're doing, and then I'll be back at the end of the day. If something's going on in the morning or something that I can talk about, I'll be back. But otherwise, I'll see you guys about noon. Thank you very much. You guys have an awesome evening.